All right, I had a pretty fun idea. Okay, I want to do a pop quiz segment, and Brad was a little nervous.
I'm not good at asking these like leading questions like you are. I do pretty well with the rundown because I can ask like 1 or 2 word questions. But man, that was always the thing I struggled with when I was doing the sports writing thing. I'm not a good interviewer. So
Well, look, man, this is just supposed to be fun. Okay, so chill out a little bit.
it was like leaking confidence as you were pitching this idea. Like, oh no.
See, I often have the opposite. You're like, let's do this, and I'm like, okay. Anyway, that's behind the scenes. Here's the deal. I told Brad, I said, let's pop quiz each other. Let's do, a handful of questions, baseball questions that we've never asked each other or that are kind of off the wall, whatever. And he said, well, like what? And I said, bro, Google first date questions and baseball them. So that's what we did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to have fun with this. Here, my first question. You ready, Brad?
Yeah. I'm ready.
We're going to need some fun music for this, okay?
Oh.
So all right.
Yeah, we'll have music. Don't worry.
If the Seattle Mariners were a beverage, what would it be?
I would have to say they'd be root beer.
Ooh.
Because there's a lot to like about them because they're fun, but at the same time, like there's some times where it's just like, I can't do root beer with that. And there's some people who just straight up like cannot handle root beer. I had a friend who's like, no, it tastes like medicine. I will not drink it. And I was like, yeah, I understand that. I get it. So anybody who's like, yeah, no, I can't. I would never like the Mariners. Like, no, I understand that. I get it. Because they're terrible and they have been terrible for a long time. So I'd say
well
root beer.
played, sir. Dang, that was good.
So, that's a good question. I like that.
Thank you.
I like that. Okay. All right, Brig, are you ready?
I'm ready, man.
What's the weirdest thing that's ever happened to you in or at a baseball game?
But that's easy. I have two answers. I'll share the one I've never shared publicly, ever.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, and then I'll share. And if we have time, I'll share the other one.
Okay.
Okay. This is so embarrassing. All right, I remember being super super young. It was probably coach pitch or something. I don't know. I was young though, and I did not care about the game we were playing. It was at night, and I was stuck out in center field, and I had been there for inning after inning after inning. And I was like, forget this is dumb, right? I'm not doing this anymore. So I literally was focused on the dandelions in the grass. And I remember I still never got there's no fly balls, nothing ever happened, and I spent my time in the outfield kicking dandelions.
How old were you, did you say?
It was coach pitch, so
okay.
like 8?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
6 or 8 or I don't know, 7, I don't know, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's probably the weirdest thing, because there's always the joke about the kid out in the outfield doing nothing.
Oh yeah.
Picking flowers and stuff. I have had that experience.
Yeah. Oh, last year in T-ball, I was standing out in the outfield with Wilson, and he lays down. I was like, Wilson, you gotta stand up in case they hit the ball at you. He's like, but Dad, I'm stuck in the mud. His grass hadn't rained in days. It was dry. There's no mud.
I can see that. T-ball's so funny, man.
It's so funny.
Kids
Hilarious.
are like, I can't leave the base. It's lava.
Yeah. The grass is lava. I'm on the base.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a few times this is my base. This is my base. You can't stand on it.
I'm not leaving my base.
So I get the dandelion thing. I get it.
Totally, man. All right. What is your favorite baseball rule?
My favorite baseball rule?
Yeah.
Ooh, man. One. I don't know if I have a favorite one, but one that I think is fun is like actually kind of cool. So have you ever noticed how you never see guys stick their hat up to catch a ball?
Yes.
The reason for that is because if you catch the ball in your hat, it's a 3-base error. And the runner can try for home if they want to. So they for sure get to third, and then if like they're still trying to like corral the ball or whatever, by the time you get to third base, they can try for home.
So why do you think that's fun?
It's funny. It's so random. Like,
yeah, okay.
Like, why 3 bases if you catch it in your hat? You know, just like give them first base, give them second base, whatever. 3 bases? That's a triple. That is a triple, man. 3 bases for catching the ball in your hat. It's like it's so funny.
I'm sitting here like, okay, who did that?
And I know.
And number 2, who got super upset about it?
So, I'll tell you how I found out about that too. So there was a one year, I can't remember which brand it was, but I bought some packs of baseball cards, and they had know the rules card in there every once in a while, and I got one.
Yeah.
And Barry Bonds did it in the 90s. He caught the ball in his hat. I can't remember who hit it. But it was like an illustration of like a cartoon of Barry Bonds on the card catching the ball in his hat, and that's how I learned that rule.
Nice.
So either A, if you're playing baseball, softball, whatever, don't catch the ball in your hat, and B, if you see somebody do it, call them out on it. You get 3 bases, man.
Yeah,
that's legit. Yep.
Look, dude, you just enabled all of the parents listening. They already screaming at the umpires, bro. We don't need Blackjack Brad, poisoning the water hole here. Come on. Just kidding. Oh,
I'm arming you with knowledge. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you call it what you want, Blackjack Brad.
That's right. Yeah. All
right.
Okay. All right. So, of all the current proposed rule changes we've seen in the last year, which of all of those rules do you think will stick, and why?
Wow, that's a great question. I think robot umpire is going to stick.
Yeah. And every rule that comes with it?
Well, no. Maybe not. No. Maybe the pitch clock. I don't know, man. Yes, I'm going to say that the implementation of robot umpires is my answer. I don't know that the current set of rules and doctrine around that will stay.
Okay.
But I do think we will have a robotic strike zone forever, eventually. Doesn't mean I agree with it. It just means that's what I think will stay.
Yeah, no, I get that. And do you think it's one of those things that's going to come and go, or do you think it's like once it's here, it's here?
I don't. I think that they will meet so much resistance that it won't need a trial by fire period. I think that there will be so much vetting that happens that if it does come and stay, it'll stay forever.
Yeah. I feel the same way. I feel the same way about it.
Yeah.
So I like that. Good answer.
Thanks, man. All right, what to you, in your opinion, what is the best job in baseball?
The best job in baseball.
All of baseball.
It's got to be one of the kid jobs, like either the foul ball guy or girl down the foul line, who gets to sit.
Sitters. Yeah,
the bucket sitters. Either that or the bat boy. I know there's a whole lot more that goes into being the bat boy than just like what you see with getting the bats and stuff. But one of those 2 jobs has to be like the best.
Nice.
And it's because it's like just sitting down the line and like getting a chance to field the ground ball every once in a while. Like, that's awesome. That's so fun to me. But then also with the bat boy, there's something about just carrying that lumber around that's so satisfying. And the sound of the wood bats hitting each other as you like put 2 or 3 back where they're supposed to go, whatever, Like, yeah, just getting to feel the wood bats all the time. Like, I think that would be awesome. I think those would be so cool. In fact, we went to there's a video on the YouTube channel Wilson and I went to a Boise Hawks game last year, and on our way home, and actually he's asked me this in the last couple weeks, he said, "Dad, can I be a bat boy?" And I said, "We're sure going to see if we can make it happen."
Yeah, make that happen.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was actually I was
Nice.
really proud of him that he asked that. I thought that was cool that that's something he wanted to do. So
That's cool, man. You got a cool kid though. He's a special kid.
I think
For
so
sure.
most of the time. I mean, he has his moments, but
Oh yeah, every kid's
what
a
kid
turd.
doesn't? What
Yeah,
kid doesn't?
for sure.
No, he's
Yeah,
a cool
man.
kid. He's a lot of fun. He's a lot of fun.
He totally is. Totally awesome.
Okay, now Brig, are you ready for the next one?
Yeah.
What was the best experience you have ever had with a player?
Oh.
With like minor league, major league, whatever, any player.
Whoa. All right, that's easy. I had an opportunity last year to participate in a charitable function at the Ronald McDonald house here in town.
Oh, that's right. I
And-
remember that.
Yeah, and they had a couple of players from the Greenville Drive out there, and we got talking, and every time, I don't care how big or small the stage is, whenever you get a ball player, on the professional track, not in front of a microphone, not trying to please somebody, not trying to live up to whatever brand they're building of themselves, you get them one-on-one, or you get a couple of players talking together, and they are wicked down to earth, usually, right? 9 times out of 10, maybe
typically,
9.5 times out of 10. They're really humble. They're really grateful to be there. They're grateful to be a part of the community, especially minor leaguers when they're moving up and they're always dancing around different towns. Anyway, so I think at least recently, that was the coolest experience.
That is cool. That is
Yeah.
cool. And especially guys in the minor leagues, like that's such a humbling experience to be playing minor league ball. I mean, it has to be. To be.
Totally.
So that's cool. That's awesome. I like that.
Thanks. Okay. Would you rather have an at bat? Okay. Would you rather step into the box and face Randy Johnson, Bob Gibson,
Oh, jeez.
or Roger Clemens?
Oh my gosh. Now, jeez.
Just think about the implications.
Oh, yeah, every one of those guys will hit you without even thinking twice.
For sure. Bob
honestly,
Gibson
though,
might not even know you're there.
it's true. It's true.
He's
But
like,
to be honest, to be quite honest, I would out of the three of those, I would rather face Roger Clemens, and let me tell you why.
whoa, I did not see that coming. Okay. I'm excited about this.
So Bob Gibson, because I always like to stand kind of close to the plate, and he was not about that. So he's going to throw out my head to get me to back up, and I've been hitting the head with the fastball. I'm not about to have that happen again.
Yeah.
So Bob Gibson off the list. Randy Johnson, for some reason, growing up, like I did not get my first hit off of a left-hander until I was 16 years old because I couldn't see the ball out of the left-hander's hand. I don't know what it was. I don't know why, but it was just like a mental block. I couldn't see it.
Totally.
So I wouldn't want 103 coming from a lefty, much less a 95-mile-an-hour slider potentially. That I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know where it's going. So I wouldn't want to face Randy Johnson. Roger Clemens, because he's just going to try to gas it by me.
Yeah.
You give me 4 or 5 of those, I might be able to like almost get the bat off my shoulder by the time it gets to the catcher's glove.
Right? Yes.
But I don't feel like he's going to hit me just to hit me, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's good.
that's
Ew.
why I go with the Rocket, Roger Clemens.
You broke that all the way down, bro. That was that was high quality answer right there. And I happen to agree with everything you said. Yeah.
Excellent. Very
That was
good.
great. Solid, bro.
All right. Okay, are you ready for the next one?
I'm ready.
What's your very earliest, and I can't remember if we've talked about this or not, but either I'm going to ask you right now. What's your very earliest baseball memory?
You did ask me this once before, but I gave you the most potent memory.
Okay.
And it's like
Yeah,
the
that's
saddest
right, yeah.
story ever. But okay, my earliest baseball memory, dang, it would probably have to be the day I really discovered baseball cards.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
There you go.
and I was like, oh, because we watched baseball growing up, and my dad was really involved in my baseball life growing up, and so
Mhm.
I think I would have to say that I have like whispering memories of those, but they're very vague. But the day I discovered baseball cards was a huge deal. I must have been at school or something and had come home with one, or maybe somebody told me about them or showed me them, and I was like, what the crap is that? It's like the coolest thing ever. So I get home, and we didn't have a lot of money growing up at all. So especially at that age, I must have been, oh man, like 5 or 6, 7 at the oldest, probably 6 or 7 actually. That's when I had a brain. Anyway, I tell my dad about these pictures of baseball players on these cards, and he said, "Yeah, come here. I want to show you something." Walked me down to his office in the basement. He had a home office, and he pulled out this box from a storage unit or from a storage closet, and it was this cardboard box, and he pulled it out, and there were stacks and stacks and stacks of cards, football cards, baseball cards. And he pulls out a wad of rubber banded baseball cards, and he whips off the rubber band, and he starts flicking these through. And I was like, I didn't know who they were, right? Like I had no idea
Yeah.
until I was 15.
Yeah.
And I went back, for the 100th time to look at my dad's collection of baseball cards, and it was like Roberto Clemente and Goose Gossage was in there. And I mean, he had some players that were like crazy awesome, and I didn't get it. Certainly at the time.
Yeah.
All I knew was here was this new experience that I was having, connecting with the game of baseball for the first time, really like emotionally outside of my dad. And then I went and had this experience, and I brought it to my dad, and he was ready to share that experience in real time with his own connection that he'd made years or like almost 30 years earlier, And
Yeah.
no, dude, it was like this mind-blowing. So I think that's probably my earliest memory of baseball.
That's cool. That's really cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah, thanks.
That's great.
I would have to
Very
say.
good.
All right.
Very cool.
Thank you. I'm going to pull this up. It's your last question. You ready?
Yeah.
So I have this fantasy. It's totally illogical. That if every team could pick one player who's ever lived to be immortal and stay on the team, they stay on the same team forever. You never
In their prime?
You never have to draft for that position ever again. They're never going to get injured. They're going to show up every day. They're going to give you 100% every day. They're going to evolve every day. Every year they get better. They keep pace with the best as the best the game can provide, etc. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who would you want to be that guy in Seattle?
That's easy. Junior. That's that.
All time?
Yeah, you've got yeah. I mean, you've got Babe Ruth, and you got Mickey Mantle,
Sure.
Joe DiMaggio, Ty Cobb, all those guys.
Right.
But who changed the game athletically? I mean, we can go back to Roberto Clemente because there was nobody like him.
True.
At his time,
Absolutely.
Right? But at the time, who was the 5-tool player in his era?
It's Junior,
It's
for
Griffey.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So, yeah, Griffey in his prime, like 96, 97 Griffey.
Yeah.
And only improving from there, because after that the injuries started to kind of pile up a little bit. He went to Cincinnati and had some hamstring injuries and things like that.
Yeah.
But if you can have late 90s Griffey continuing to get better, I don't know who would be better than him ever. Legitimately do not know who would be better than him ever. So
wow.
That's my answer.
Wow. Good answer.
So
I didn't see you
you.
picking Griffey. I mean,
who'd you Who'd you think I was going to pick?
I don't know, but I didn't think you'd pick a player that was that young in the history.
And see, I do think some of it, there might be some recency bias that he's the guy who I grew up watching.
Sure.
You know? But the electricity that comes with him is unbeatable. And especially if you've ever been in the stadium with Griffey, man, that it's unreal. It is absolutely unreal.
Yeah. He does have an effect. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
great answer.
all right. Brig, last question.
Hey.
What do you think baseball will look like in 100 years?
Oh. Okay. I think it'll look exactly the same.
With robot umpires?
Yeah. I mean, some of those things will change, and they'll come and go. I don't think the robot umpires are going to leave once they show up, but it might be 50 years till they get here. I don't know.
At this rate, yeah.
But I think that essentially the game will stay the same. It'll be 90 feet between bases. It'll be 60 feet 6 inches to the mound. It's going to be, the outfield dimensions will stay relatively the same depth. There will always be a warning track. You know what I mean? The mound will always be the same height. The rubber will always be the same. I mean, dimensionally, which I think is critical, I think it's always going to stay the same. This BS about moving the mound back during the postseason, like, nobody's going to let that happen. Like, what is he trying?
No, they can't.
What are they trying to get over on us without us knowing about it? Because they're enraging us with this idea. Like, I'm thinking, what's the left hand doing if that's what the right hand is showing us? Anyway, where's the knife?
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? Where's the knife? Because that is absolutely ridiculous. It's so ridiculous, it makes me nervous. What kind of subterfuge are we not knowing about, and are we being distracted from? Anyway, I think that in 100 years, baseball is going to essentially be exactly the same way it is now. Obviously, I hope that's true, but I do think that there are enough of us that will help maintain it, that it's in its purest form.
Nice.
Yeah.
And when I thought of that question, I thought the same thing. 90 feet, 60 feet, 60 feet, 6 inches, outfield, all that. My only thought was some kind of protective equipment elsewhere. Like maybe pitchers have something. Batters have not like cricket protection, but like, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's some kind of like facial coverage, not even like a softball helmet, but they'll figure something out. I don't know. 100 years is a long time.
Yeah, but that kind of stuff, I don't know that it's terribly different. Like, the catcher's equipment needs to be improved, for sure. We got to find a way for umpires behind the plate to have more protection, because those dudes take a beating when it happens. It doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, it's bad. And so, things like that, of course, they're going to change. We need to extend the nets. Hashtag extend the nets, man. Get that all the way out. And I hate it, but I hate looking through the nets, but we got to have them, because I'd rather not go to the hospital or have some kid go to the hospital, or die. Mm-hmm. But I mean, essentially, it's going to be the same.